How is it going, guys? Now, if you have not heard, it is not going too well for GameStop. Recently, GameStop has been trying to sell their company because, let's face it, they're probably doomed. It's probably going to be the next Toys R Us. People just don't buy physical copies anymore. Everything's going to digital, and the days of GameStop are slowly crawling to an end. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this today is that they were trying to sell their company, and they had a few different offers, and then GameStop has announced that they are not going to continue selling their company. So what this means is that GameStop was probably expecting an offer that was like way up here, and then they only got offers that were down here, and they figured they'd just do better off on their own. And the stocks did not like that. Investors were not happy, and now you can buy a GameStop share for as low as $11.26. That is pretty cheap. If you're into taking a huge gamble and playing the stock market, it's dirt cheap right now. $11, you buy multiple shares, and then for some reason they make a comeback, which I doubt that they will, but if they did, you'd be a really rich man or woman. So yeah, the investors did not like the fact that GameStop is not selling their company. And for me, it's kind of bittersweet. Now, as much as I dislike GameStop, like for me, they're up there with like companies like EA in terms of like how much I despise them at times. Because, their resale value is just horrible. Like I've had examples where I've bought in the game, and then literally like 2 days later, I didn't like it, but because I opened it, they won't return it. See, with GameStop's refund policy, if you open the game, then it instantly becomes a used game, and they don't offer you a full refund. So, for example, I've had this happen to me before, but I'll use a new game, for example, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Me and my friend Cookie both went out and bought Call of Duty Black Ops. I bought the digital copy, and he bought the physical copy. Well, it wasn't a week later, he decided he didn't want the game, and he went to take it back, and they only offered him $40. $40 for a $60 game that, it was only out 1 week. So, but none of you guys watching this video are probably new to the fact that GameStop likes to rip people off with their resale values of used games. But the reason that it's bittersweet for me is that I have a lot of good memories with GameStop. There's a lot of bad ones when it comes to like me trying to sell games and stuff. And I actually had some good deals sometimes for GameStop. Sometimes they'd have good trade-in deals. Like I walked in one time, I was just going to trade in a bunch of old games. I had no idea that there was like a sale going on. Yeah, they had some sort of trade-in value where it's like if you trade in 2 games, you get like 50% extra added on to the price or something, and it stacked for every time I did that. Well, I turned in like 10 games. I ended up getting $200 worth of in-store credit with just a bunch of old games I didn't care for. So, I came out on top sometimes with GameStop. It wasn't nothing but negative with GameStop for me. And back before you could even buy digital games, like you had to go to the actual store and wait in line for a midnight release. So me and my friends, depending on what the game is, we would go hours and hours early to get the game. I'll use Skyrim, for example. Skyrim is one of the ones that stands out to me because I never played an Elder Scroll game before, and a group of my friends was like, hey, we're going to go stand in line for this game. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, well, whatever. I've never played this game, but you guys said that it's got dragons in it. I'll give it a shot, which Skyrim ended up being my favorite game ever, so I'm glad I stood in line. But the GameStop that I went to, it was like a huge shopping complex. And like, here's Target, right beside Target's GameStop. And then there's like 20 more stores down the line. And at the very end was a Dollar Tree. So here's Target, here's GameStop. The line wrapped from GameStop 20 stores down, and then clear around the side of the Dollar Tree and back behind the buildings. So the line for Skyrim was crazy. And I remember the guy that got the first copy because they had a contest in the line, and then whoever won got to skip the entire line and get the first copy. Well, the guy got his first copy, and then he ran out of the store holding it up, and everybody in line started cheering for him. It was crazy. So those kind of things I miss. Like that was a cool experience, and I'll always remember that many gamers and stood in line for one thing. And we all had the same goal, and we all enjoyed the same stuff, obviously. And I've done this multiple times for midnight releases. Like for Grand Theft Auto, me and my friends showed up at 5:30 for the midnight release. 5:30. Like we showed up, went into GameStop, and we asked, where can we start the line? And they're like, for what? Like for Grand Theft Auto. And they're like, that game comes out at midnight. And we're like, yeah, we know. We want to be the first ones in line. And you may think that we were stupid for doing that. We showed up and started the line at 5:30. Someone showed up at 6 to get in line. So we were only a half an hour before the next group of people that showed up. And that line was also huge. And we showed up, me, Cookie, and one of my other friends. We had Monopoly, and we played Monopoly literally the entire night because we knew that Monopoly would take forever. So here we are sitting right outside the door for 6.5 hours. And then I stood in line for Gears of War. I stood in line for, tons of different games. So that part of GameStop I really enjoyed. Like that was cool. It's kind of a shame. Like I'm all for digital. I like digitals. I like having the game preloaded. I like how when midnight rolls around, I could just start playing it. I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to put the game in and then wait for it to install and all that crap. So it makes sense to go with digital. And with digital, you can delete them and reinstall them whenever you want because of the cloud servers. You can't do that with a physical copy. And it's nice to have the box art. It's nice to have a physical copy. I like having physical copies of things. Like I like having a collection, and a lot of people do. But there's just no future for it anymore. With the way that technology is going, there's no reason to go to the store unless you want to buy something physical, like hardware or something like that. Like, and GameStop doesn't even make hardly any money off of consoles. They mainly make their profit from video games and used games and used consoles. So, and it's not every day that somebody goes out and buys a used PlayStation or a used video game or whatever. And then my GameStop has been recently making the change to like video game props and clothing and different stuff like that. And it's really cool. Like I like going in GameStop. It's really neat. They have like nerd statues and costumes and freaking all kinds of stuff. Like I was in there the other day and there's a Dragon Ball Z statue that was like this big for $80. It was a little overpriced, but if I ever wanted to start like a knick-knack collection or a bunch of nerd stuff, like build a nerd cave, GameStop would be a place to start because they have a bunch of cool stuff like that now. But if the majority of their sales comes from used games and, nobody's buying them anymore, I don't know. GameStop might be able to hang around a little bit longer if they close a lot of their stores because they're in a lot of malls and like little shops like that. If they close a lot of their unpopular ones, they might be able to hang on a smidge, but who knows how much longer they can really truly go. And then even if they sold their company and made the investors happy and whatever, and they actually were bought by somebody big, what can they really do to honestly turn it around and make it a better experience? Like what can they make that gamers are going to want to come out and buy? Like I don't think GameStop could offer anything that would make me want to go out and physically get the game, unless it was offered like way cheaper, like $10 cheaper or something. Like a $60 game can be sold for $50, which they would take a loss of revenue for that, so they can't do that either. Yeah, so I really don't know what GameStop can do. So it's going to be another Toys R Us situation is what I'm predicting. Like I said, it's bittersweet. I've had my ups and downs with GameStop, but it's going to be a shame to see them go. I don't know why, but for some reason I really like going into a GameStop. It's just walking in and seeing nothing but video game stuff, nerd stuff everywhere. And everybody that comes into the store has similar interests as you. And the employees would talk to me about video games. What other store can I go into and talk to the freaking cashier about video games? None. And I don't know, it's just the atmosphere of having nothing but video games around me is just a cool feeling. But like I said, it's going to be sad to see them go. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for my thoughts on the situation. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think that they're going to hang on a little bit longer? Do you want to see them go? Do you want to see them stay? Let me know what your guys' experience are at GameStop. I'm pretty interested to read your guys' experiences as well. And yeah, if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It'll help me out. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. If you'd like to help support the channel and to help me continue to make videos, then consider donating over on Patreon or becoming a sponsor of the channel so you can get those special emotes and stuff for the live streams. And you'll get your name at the top of every video. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. And I'll talk to you guys next time.
Play, trade, save, repeat. Rated M for mature.
We would be honored if you would join us. You cannot resist